All right, Mark here, and welcome to another Greenbridge Investing market analysis. Today is Friday. Thank you for joining me here on the YouTube stream. So again, I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, the major markets, and a couple of stocks. And I can imagine some people would like to see some stocks as well. I'd like to try to keep this around 15 minutes. If it goes a little over, no problem. I am here to answer questions, so feel free to ask along the way. So, as you know, this is for educational purposes only. For investment advice, please consult a licensed investment advisor. All right, now let's get started with Bitcoin. Now, here's the thing. So, we had that pin bar close yesterday evening, right? And this a lot of bears will get premature with this. They'll call it a short. They'll say this thing's pulling back, all this nonsense. You can't go by that stuff. You cannot have an opinion, okay? First of all, we haven't taken out that 8,400 low, which means the pin bar is not even in effect, okay? So it doesn't mean anything is basically what the point is. And we're getting this inside bar, which looks like a pin bar right now, but we still have some time before it closes. Either way, if it's an inside bar and we take out the high of the inside bar, tonight or tomorrow or whatever, that will generate a new buy signal. Now, do we want to be buying Bitcoin near a resistance like this? No. We probably won't even issue an aggressive trade at these levels because these are levels where our profit targets are. We want to be reducing risk, not putting on more. So at this point, if you're long Bitcoin, there's really nothing to do here but let it ride. And the next resistance zone is 95.54 to the 10.168, this resistance zone up in here. All right, we have some targets. I believe we have another target, 97.50 for our original trade, where we're long from 57.50. And then I believe there's one, way beyond that one, way over 10K there. So there's just nothing to do here. Now, if Bitcoin pulls back a bit, then perhaps we could get a new swing trade long signal. The thing is, we're inside of this minor resistance zone between this, what is that, 7,900, 7,950, and like 9,000. So it's not unusual to see some selling activity here. The key inflection point, though, is this 7,300 area, all right? 7,300, 7,350, whatever. It's not going to be exact. But if price can pull back that far or near that area, and produce a reversal pattern and confirm it, that would be the best place for a new swing trade long because it would offer the greatest reward risk, right? And that's what we're looking for. So it's possible that we see a reversal earlier and we get an earlier buy signal, but this would be the more conservative place to look if Bitcoin pulls back that far. All right, so that's the story with Bitcoin. Again, any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm going to jump into the stock market now. By the way, I don't go by any news. I don't care what's going on news-wise because price action tells me everything. So let's take a look at the NSX. Now, so we have a negative day today. And it was following an inside bar that we had over the previous day, and we took out the low of 88.69, basically 88.50. So does it make sense to see a broad retrace? Yeah, this is a sell signal. We're inside of a resistance zone, which had this border here at, 9,000, right? A little over 9,000. We got the inside bar and we got the trigger. So that we didn't issue any shorts on this. This is what Andrew tried to play with the IWM previously, but that got stopped out. And we have a failed high now. Again, this is what makes this aggressive to short, by the way, is you're not shorting something exactly that's weak. For a day trade or something, okay, fine. But the bigger picture is still bullish. Why do I say that? Because we have a higher low right here at this 83.75 area, which is not even close to being taken out just yet. And then we have a key support here, just around 8,100. So the market needs to take those levels out before getting short really can provide more potential. Otherwise, this can easily turn into another higher low, perhaps Sunday night, Monday, something like that. It doesn't look good right now, but doesn't mean the next candle won't be a pin bar to go along. And that's what you have to be careful. And why do I say that? Where do I get that from? It's because the structure from 6,600 low to the 9,000 high is bullish. It's full of higher lows and higher highs. And the market hasn't proven that it wants to change just yet, just because we have two selling candles. Now, yeah, it can turn into something more dramatic, but again, the key level is around this 8100 area, and that's what I'm still bullish on this thing. And this will also provide a great opportunity to buy into stocks once this thing finds its level and starts to stabilize. And we have quite a few on our radar. All right, so that's the NASDAQ. Any questions, please ask. Now, let's take a look at the DAX. I know we have many Eurozone people out there, so I always like to cover the DAX. Again, so the DAX, what did I say? What I've been saying about the DAX? It's going to follow the S&P and NASDAQ. It's exactly what it's doing. Right? The DAX had that strong day yesterday, and today the stock market looks lousy, and now the DAX looks ugly too. Is that a coincidence? No, they follow each other. That's that. So that means we can't really judge the price action too much on the DAX without considering the S&P and NASDAQ. Now, so if you're in anything European denominated, hopefully, like I've said before, you've taken profits off the table. We may get this pullback now. It could be a broader pullback. And the place to start looking for assets or stocks or whatever that you're into on that side of the world, you have to wait for the pullback to a reasonable level. And that would be here, around this 10,275 area, perhaps 10,200, perhaps it moves slightly lower into this previous resistance, new support area. It should also coincide with the US stock market. So that's where we'd like to see the pin bar, something like that, if you're looking to put on some more exposure in that area. All right, so CFD wise, look, this market's closed right now, and it's a European holiday today. But CFD wise, this can offer a shorting opportunity. I would imagine Sunday night you're going to see a gap here. You're going to see a gap lower. But if there's any continuation pattern to go short, there could be an opportunity for a swing trade CFD. We'll take a look at that. I'm not a big fan of that CFD, but it's a possibility if anyone's involved in that. So if anyone has questions about that, please ask. All right, that's the DAX. Let's take a look now at oil, because there's been a lot of talk of oil, a lot of eyes on oil, because we're looking for that bounce. Everyone wants to get into this bounce, because how can oil be $10 a barrel? It's crazy, right? Well, so we got this little bounce developing here. Why didn't we get involved in this? Isn't there like an inside bar right here to go long and some follow through and everything? Why not? Well, if you watched my previous video, or what I think I said on Monday, it's nice that we have the little mini double bottom here, but there's too much structure working against this. In theory, the location is attractive for longs, because what's oil going to do? Go to $5 a barrel? But we have to respect the structure, and we can't go in the market. We can't go into the market with an opinion like that, because that's all that is, an opinion. And that opinion can get you into a lot of trouble. We could have said, well, what's oil doing at $20 a barrel? What's it going to do? Go to 10? Well, it almost went to 10. So you can't have something like that. The structure needs to confirm. We don't have it yet. This is a beginning, but first of all, we need to take out, we basically took out this 15.5, and depends on the broker too. Owanda is showing these prices. FX, my FX choice is showing a different price. Forex.com is showing a different price. It's annoying when the prices aren't exactly the same, but the structure should be. We took out this minor resistance. That's a start, but we need some sort of test of the low again, or what would be even nicer is if we can clear this old support new resistance and then pull back. I'd rather see a stronger initial move and then a pullback to buy something like that, because that's usually what a broad reversal looks like, not like a little thing like this. So, I prefer more structure. I don't mind missing the bottom of oil. There's plenty of potential in this thing still. 36 is still the key resistance. I'm sorry, not 36, 32. And it's got a long ways to go before it reaches 32, meaning it needs to clear 32 before we could think about being bullish on the bigger picture. So why would we go bearish? Why would we go along something that's generally bearish then? Because there's nice possibility of it can retrace. And for a swing trade, that's all we're looking for. We're just looking for attractive reward risk and a potential move. And that potential looks like it would be on the long side, not exactly the short side. So it is conflicted. In other words, we have to wait. So we're waiting. Any questions again, please ask. Now, let's take a look at the dollar franc. The dollar franc, why? Well, we have a trade in that. And here's the trade. These lines don't correspond to this. You have to ignore the horizontal. I have to get rid of those. Sorry about that. But we had a short that was called around up here somewhere. And I believe it went to its, I know it went to its first target. I have to check again. It's just a lot to keep track of. But this may have reached its third target. Nice trade, okay? Nice coming off this double top. What do you do now? Well, this is just, you're just profit taking. Let the winner run and you take your profits. That's it. If you're not in this, you don't chase it. And the euro is an inversion of this, by the way. I put that in the chat room earlier. The euro is the opposite of this, right? The euro is going higher, like in a straight line, while the dollar franc is going lower. So you want to be cognizant of that. Going into a Sunday, it's a good idea to at least take, a good portion of it off the table and not go into a Sunday night, with a Forex position. Anything can happen between now and Sunday. So that's what's going on there. All right, so far I don't see any questions. Now I'm going to get into the one stock that I wanted to cover, and that stock is Urban. Well, I know we had some people that asked about Urban, but there was another stock I wanted to cover. Oh yeah, IOVA. So now would be a good time to put your stocks in the channel if you want to see something. So first let me go over IOVA, and then I'm going to go over Urban Outfitters. So IOVA, the reason why I've been liking this stock is because of its location and its structure. Let's take a look at that here real quick. IOVA. Now look at this. So I pointed this out yesterday in the chat room. And I said, look, this thing is starting to pull into its key support. And if the market pulls back further, this thing will probably get there. And there it is. 31.28. We closed right now. We're at 30.98 right now. And here's the thing with this. Just because it's at a key support, it doesn't mean you just go rushing in and you start buying. It's in an area where a reversal is possible, but we need to see confirmation. There's nothing there. This little spinning top is not confirmation. So what I'd like to see on Monday or Tuesday is perhaps a pin bar, or maybe we take out this spinning top high at least of 31.90. Something like that would prompt me to send out an idea for a swing trade long on IOVA. All right, I love the location, and also I love the broader structure. We have this low that was made back here, back in March, followed by a higher low back in April, right, early April, and now this is another higher low. Plenty of potential to at least test this high of like $38. So that's keep this on your radar. I love the location. Okay, Bella, let's take a look. Actually, let me do Urban first, because I know we had some questions. We had a question about Urban Outfitters because it went back below its price, its entry price, and the question was, does that mean the stock is in play? Well, here's the thing. So 1750, I believe, was the entry price. I don't know exactly where we got into it. It's around there somewhere, but I know it's on the trade sheet. And Michael, what a great trade. He took some off at the high, which is great job. It didn't exactly reach its first target, but I know he shared it in the chat room. Great job on that, Michael. Because this is what you're facing if the market does not cooperate. And that's what we're getting right now. We have a sell signal on the NASDAQ, and these things are going to feel it, right? So the question was, would now be a good time to get into this because it's below the buy trigger? And the answer is no, because now it's time to wait for stability. Why get in now when this thing may test this low over here? Okay. Oh, Bella. Oh, so you're in from, okay, 17 and a half, or, well, I mean, that's where we should be in around there. That's the price that I put out when I sent out the chart because it was fooling around with that price at that time. So again, should you get in now? And my answer is no. If you did not get in on that original trade, now you have the advantage of waiting for an even better price. And that price, who knows? It can pull back to this old support over here at around 1536. And I know our stop is just somewhere lower than that, but you need stability. In either case, you need stability. A red candle closing like this on its low is not stability. So 15 and a quarter. Thank you, Bella. So 15 and a quarter, that's, let me see, where is that here? That is 50, that's basically around this low, slightly higher than this low. So if it makes that double bottom, we'll probably get stopped out. Now, that's a chance you take. I mean, that's why we have stops. But I'd rather get stopped out there than watch this thing go a lot lower. Taking stops saves you money. It's a good thing. But anyway, the point is, wait for this thing to stabilize. Hopefully we get a pin bar Monday or Tuesday, and then that would be, okay, the close of the pin bar and the break of that high, that would be the time. Wait at least for a green candle or something. That's the way to play that, okay? Well, I mean, so Bella, that you can use that discretion. That's up to you. We set our stop, we identified our risk, and we let the market play out. Now, there is a sell signal in the NASDAQ, but we're not going to always react to things like that because we assumed this risk, and a lot of times it's usually better to not interfere with the trade. Although there are times when, yeah, it's a good idea to get out because you can always get back in. But we leave that up to your discretion. If we make that adjustment, we'll send it out, but we're going to hold it because that's just what we do. If it goes to the stop, it goes to the stop. But a lot of times, what we don't want to do is get out, right? Watch the thing reverse sharply the next day, and now we have to get back in either at a worse price or now we have to chase it because we're watching a lot of different things. So we can't sit there and watch every single one like this. We identify our risk early on, and that's it. It either goes there, stops us out, or it turns earlier and starts going to targets, and that's that. Okay, so if you're not comfortable, by all means, reduce your risk or exit completely and wait for the reentry. Okay. All right, so that answers those questions. Now let's get into, you wanted to see MELI. Let's take a look, MELI. Let's take a look at MELI. Now, again, remember, this is one of these stocks. This is like the Amazon of Latin America. And this is interesting. It's up 14 points today. I don't know why. I really don't care why. But what did we say about this the other day? It's in a consolidation. And it's the important support level right now on this thing is the range low, which is around this 553, or basically we could say 550 area. And as long as it stays above that, you're in good shape. I mean, with a candle, especially on such a bearish day today, we getting a strong close on this thing. Bella, all you need to see is a breakout of this price, 614, and this thing is on its way. All right, these consolidation patterns, this is basically a triangle. I could draw lines from this low and connect it, and then a line from this low, and right, it'll look like a triangle. Those are typically continuation patterns, and the initial move is definitely not bearish, it's bullish. This is the low up to this high, and now you have this pullback, which is a higher low, triangle, or typically, in this case, this is a wave 4, right? If you want to just look at Elliott wave and use Elliott wave as a structure, we have 1, 2, 3, that's definitely a 3, and this is 4. 4 has not overlapped 1. So this thing goes, you have at least some room for a wave 5, another leg higher, and that could take you up into the high 6s, low 7s, something like that. So there's still plenty of potential, and this is a great sign right here. Great sign, especially in the face of such an ugly market. All right, so hopefully that that answers that question for you. Any other questions about any stocks or any markets that anyone would like to see really quick? I don't want to, I talk a lot, and I know people don't like to stop me from talking, but sometimes you should stop me because I talk too much. Any questions? I'll give you a minute. But anyway, this is a nice looking stock. Any Forex pairs, any CFDs, anything real quick you'd like to see? Okay, no problem. All right, so if that's that, then I'll wrap this up. Today's Friday, so enjoy the next 2 days. We'll see you on Monday. But again, keep an eye for the Sunday open because that's where you can get a sense, even though the volume is low. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll speak to you then. Take care.